supposed to respond to the question. The Lord, that's really true. He said, Lord, put you before me, speak through me. And he will keep you silent. Yeah, if I was in a conversation with him. Everybody, yes, that's she can. I didn't think it was. Every time I see the three questions, yeah, I don't want to hide it. No, but
It's all good.
Yeah, but today you say, thank you, Lord. Ask the Lord to take one more before. And ask him for his, or keep giving more. Your guidance, amen. Your knowledge, the gift of the and the gift yours. Yeah. Always ask for the gift of discernment. I'm so blessed with that one. I said I rejoice every day. The gift of discernment, man. Pray for that. It gives you wisdom. So when you're about to answer a question, this gift of profile. Yeah. Important. Yeah. Because now it's take the right when you want to take so because you're blessed with the kind time and faith to listen. When you're listening to the person who's trying to come at you with speak what they're not supposed to say in their heart, and hear the truth. So maybe she was projecting her own. She showed, yeah, she always. She didn't answer. Always. I was 3 months ago, and I'm very proud of them. Like, I'm not doing good. Good. She's trying to find your weakness. She can't find your weakness. She didn't accept her weakness to become a part of yours. Reject offender, man. Reject offender. Reject offender. Why should we say that? It doesn't matter about it. That's a title, but she's not of God. She doesn't make it a title. Incorrect. But you never send back. Is it never? Is it W? Is it capital? Is that capital?
Yeah, capital ACG.
Yeah. Always say, you know what, Lord, forgive us and forgive him. Oh, yeah. Oh, go on.
All right, test. I think we're good. So really quickly, you're going to meet the facilitator. I won't go too deep in that. But we are going to do an overview of grants that are currently available and loans. But then the key thing that I wanted to touch on is the cash flow projections overview. Actually, Odessa, could you get the lights? And then we'll touch on how we can help. But actually, I want to touch on that first because people might know I do one-to-one coaching with people about helping them get funding, but I find that bandwidth can only go so far. So I tried to start this now to say, let me see how much information I can get to people on a group setting, and then from this, hopefully able to get the money and grow your business. Okay, yeah. So a bit about myself. I run a few companies, so I do consider myself a serial social entrepreneur, a social enterprise called Detail Ignites. Also, we do social enterprise consulting with Service Kingdom. So we support nonprofits starting social enterprises or for-profit businesses operating more like social enterprises. Executives Power Up is for companies that are looking to scale but need a stronger C-suite team. So if you need a CEO, CTO, CMO, we place those teams into companies so that they become more investable. And then Black Panther's Cage, consider Black Panther's Cage like Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, but with Black founders pitching to Black investors. So that's a TV show that is in the works right now. One thing about myself, I am the co-founder of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, but also part of Empowered for X's business crew. So really, our mission is to support businesses and help them scale up. But ACBN, it started, I'm an entrepreneur, was trying to scale and franchise our company. There weren't a lot of Black-focused business organizations to go to. So we said, let's bring some entrepreneurs together and build it ourselves. And over the past 5 years, so this December will be our 6th-year anniversary, we've engaged with over 5,000 Black entrepreneurs. We're seeing a lot, about 70, I think that's now 75% are female entrepreneurs. And in our network, a lot of them are the founders and the business owners. But there's also a bigger ecosystem. So we're partnered with 40 other Black-focused business organizations. So they're able to also support you with your business. So no matter what stage you're in, we can connect you to the right supports that are out there. And of course, entrepreneurship for us is one of the key foundational tools that we use for economic empowerment. I feel actually research shows it's 12 times easier to pull yourself out of poverty by starting a business rather than trying to get a job. So all those that have started businesses, you're in the right spot. And we always like to say thank you to our partners. Alternative Savings is the one that we actually started our microloan fund with. So we're able to loan to entrepreneurs up to $15,000. And Sheridan Edge, I'm an alumni of Sheridan. So they started Edge, which is an entrepreneurship support program. So we have a working relationship with them. And Toronto Community Benefits, shout out to Rosemary Powell, who's been a supporter of ACBN since the beginning, even when Detailing Nights was just getting kind of off the ground, she was helping. So I owe a lot of my success to her support and mentorship. And Calabash, I want to touch on, is a cooperative of expert service providers in our community. So if you're looking for services to get done, business plans, coaching, consulting, grant writing, you can actually go to Calabash and they have a whole suite of vendors that you could work with. So I like to show this slide because it shows the different types of funding that we've been able to get in the past. And it actually doesn't even show the different loans that I've been able to get for Detailing Nights. So you'll see here, it's as low as $500, goes up to as much as over $1 million, like 1.3 million, and the types of grants as well. So we get the pitch competitions in here, city grants, provincial grants, federal grants, and also support from companies. So sponsorships and donations. But the loans that we got from Detailing Nights, that ranges from banks, family. I remember doing the pitch to my family at Thanksgiving, saying like, hey, I'm starting this corporation. This is what I feel can build generational wealth. Who's interested to invest? And actually raising $7,000 from the family at that time to be able to get to like that next milestone, and then being able to get more funding later on. And now being able to support more people getting funding, because as you go through the process of getting money, you realize where those blocks are, and especially for myself. So making sure cash flow projections are on point, because they keep asking those questions. So if that you don't understand fully and you're not able to answer those questions, that puts doubt into people's mind. Not knowing that you qualify for certain grants. When we're working with organizations and they're so busy doing the work, they don't have time to be researching, writing, reapplying, researching again. So we're able to work with organizations to say, we'll become that team for you, and then help you make sure you know what's available, and then be able to apply for those grants. And also, we're able to trustee grants. So with Seventh Adventist Church, they weren't able to get the grant on their own. So ACBN, we could actually step in, be the trustee, get them the money, and then they're able to do the work that they need to do. Oh yeah, well this is the one in Mississauga. Yeah, Meadowvale. Okay, right. So we've gotten funding from them. Yeah. Real. And Youth Village, again, ACBN being able to get funding, and now seeing other organizations that are just getting started up, we can say, come on to our grants. We're going for, it was actually the $1.3 million. And now that you're starting up, you can execute a section of our grant and we can get you money so that their organization can start up.
So a person or for kind of company apply for more than one grant or just individual grants?
Oh, you apply for everything that you qualify for. There's some, so the question was, can you apply for multiple grants at a time or multiple funding? 100% yes. And sometimes when I do presentations, we open our Google Drive to show all the active grants that we're going after. Yes. Yes. So that's what these sessions are really for. So 2 ways that we support businesses or nonprofits. One is business plan preparedness. So we do a business plan blueprint and help them with cash flow, and also the grant writing blueprint. So we help them with putting together that initial template for yourself. So any grant that you find, you're now able to apply easier because your blueprint is done. And that was one thing that I found with Detailing Nights. When we kept applying and kept getting declined, when I finally brought on a grant writer, we partnered with a nonprofit, then that grant was successful. but that became the blueprint for everything that we did going forward. So it started with like 15,000, then we were able to get up to 300,000 using that same framework that we saw was successful. So we teach people, get that blueprint done, because the questions that you're going to hear, 80% of them are the same. So if you can get it done first, then it's easier to apply. Yeah.
A business plan,
Right.
that's not good enough, need a blueprint for the business.
Well, that helps you finish your business plan. So if you already have it done, then you wouldn't need
Oh,
it again. Like that becomes your blueprint. Yeah. Yeah.
back there.
So one thing, if you have your phones and or you just want to take a note, this is one of the newer resources that have come out. So Happily.ai, and I'll actually pull it up and I'll log in so you get an idea of what it does. Let me see if I can log in here. So being able to research all the different types of funding that is around. Okay. So this takes kind of the hard work away. So when you go to, oh, I type it wrong. Oh, no love. All right. So you'll see on the side where it shows kind of the full breadth of grants that are available and different loans, tax credits. I'm not sure if it's fuzzy. Right. But when you dig in, this is where it helps identify all the ones that are out there. But now you need to dig in and see which ones you actually qualify for. So this is where when you see something like Boost Your Technology, that one, I believe the 7,300 is a good one. The Canada Job Grant, so if you're looking for hiring, this one allows you to hire people and then train them. And you get, like if you have to pay for that training, you get a grant for that money. And so you can see if they're actually a fit for your company, and if they're not, then you don't have to hire them. But if they are a fit, they're already fully trained. Yeah.
So, okay, to get the grant, you know, training, and can you still get the grant to get half the money back, over that?
So that's right. So this one would be, we usually use it before they're hired. So we're going to hire them in a specific role, but they have to go through training. So once they finish that, then you can use a hiring grant to get 50% on their next. Usually it's 8 to 12 weeks for the hiring grants, right? Yes. So that's where we talk about grant stacking. So a lot of times you might not even have the 10,000, for example. It's up to 10,000 for each employee. But if you don't have the 10,000, you can now use other grants to cover the cost of the training and then get the money back. Or we use microfinancing. So with ACBN's loan, we can cover the upfront cost, and then when you get the grant, you pay back the loan. So really no money is coming out of your pocket, but now you have an additional person to work in your team that's fully trained. Yes. So with this one, the Canada Ontario Job Grant, you can train a new employee. So you can put them through training, which would typically cost, let's say it's 10,000, just for example. So if you pay 10,000, then you would get a grant to get that money back. So they go through the training and then you get the grant for it. But a lot of times businesses don't have 10,000 upfront to do the training. So we can finance that. So you get the money paid, like you get it paid for through our loan. And then when the grant comes in, it pays off the loan. So now you're training a person pretty much for free, and they're able to work in your company. And as Eileen mentioned, there's then hiring grants that you can get a percentage back. So for the first 12 weeks, you'd only have to pay like 50% for that new hire that you have. And again, don't feel like you have to absorb it and understand it all. It's to say this exists, and then we're here to walk you through the process. So you can say, hey, I need to find a new person. We usually say, don't just hire them straight. Look at what resources, and just like you mentioned, there's hiring grants, training grants, microfinancing to get these things done. You just have to package it so money's not coming out of your pocket. And a lot of times hiring is the most difficult thing because you hire somebody, train them for 3 months, be paying them, there's no return on investment yet. And then all of a sudden, either they ghost, they don't show up, they just aren't a fit. It takes you a while to realize that they're just not capable of what you need done. And that whole money and time is wasted. So this is what we try to alleviate that kind of stress with these programs. Mm-hmm.
I'm reflecting now on what my service is all about. So I can see how training, because it's really training, right?
Yes.
Training others to become competent and confident, right?
Yes.
In this.
And so that's the flip side of it for service providers that do training. Now, a company that says, oh, I don't have the money to pay for your training, you can say, well, there's a grant that you can apply for that'll pay for the training and the company gets the money back. So it takes away that, I guess, objection of, oh, I don't have the money. It's like, no, but help them get the money. So you can point them to these programs so they can get grants to pay for your services. Yes. Mm-hmm.
What if you want to train 2 people?
Yeah.
Able to say, here's 10,000, and we're going to just put that to train 2 people?
Better than that. It's 10,000 per employee.
Oh, so you have to just
Up to, I think, 100. Yes. Yeah. So it's like one of the biggest grant programs I've seen. That is the most underutilized grant program that I've seen. But this is what the bigger companies use. So when they're hiring people, they're not just paying out of their pocket for the training. They're still getting grants even though they're so big. But usually it's difficult for us. Exactly. And the money needs to get spent. Because we've gotten calls from agencies and they're like, listen, March is coming up. We have money to spend. Do you have anybody to train? Because we need you to use our grants. Otherwise, the money is just wasted. So we got to, like, that's where we become an asset to those that have to spend these grants. We're saying, yeah. Mm-hmm.
from being on your program before, I asked this question because I have a lazy mentality to fill out these forms.
Okay. Yes.
So that it's in place where we can rely on. I mean, not to just sit back and have you do it. You want to be a part of the whole process, but you have that in place where you can assist in you doing the grant.
So we walk you through the process. Yes.
No, I know because I've been on your program
yes.
where you did walk through the process.
No, I mean one to one. Yeah, so not only as a group, right? So based on your specific need. Oh, okay.
Okay. So what's the process? You're saying that your company will take that time. One is to come entrepreneur company and tell them guys what they need in their company to build that company up. So if you can get this with you're there to bring all the, let's say you only 2 or 3 people that start a company, this is the best one for you. Here's the grant, get going.
Yes.
And then you can hire from a third party, like somewhere finished, and that's becoming a work for you, blah, blah, blah.
Is that with the like hiring agencies you're talking about? Third party?
That means correctly. So let's say I need a marketing, manufacturer, retailers, whoever. I need people in the field of marketing, social media, all the above. And people and companies, all the different types of people, individual companies or whatever that's needed to help their company take off.
So we're not quite an HR firm yet.
No, you know,
right. So we wouldn't find the exact person, but like if you had candidates, then we would help them go through the proper training that they need. So a lot of times businesses get stuck because they need a social media manager. And then they hire somebody and that person doesn't know what they're doing. So if you have somebody that you want to hire, you can actually send them to training for social media management. And then after the training, they would have the skills that you need for your business. Yeah.
Find the company or the individual that works at that company and say, hey, this company's a good company, they can work for your company. they'll ask for this much percentage.
Oh, not yet. No. Yeah, we don't do that part. We don't go that far. Yes. But yes, I wanted to show you that tool, and so again, that'll be your homework to just look through. Quickly, I did want to touch on some of the other grants that are out there. Hold on. So usually on our Wednesday, once a month session, so the one actually yesterday, we go deeper into each of the grants. But for today, it's more just an overview. So there's the Black Opportunity Fund. They have the grant program with the Chamber of Commerce. Digital Main Street, that's the grant program where they have actually three. So you can get $10,000, you can get $2,500 for digital marketing, and you can get them to build you an e-commerce store. Elevate Black Business is actually part of the Black Opportunity Fund one. Starter Company is just launched again. So the Toronto region, they're doing a female edition. So female founders can get $5,000 for the business. Grants are typically not large. So especially the Toronto one. So Starter Company, yeah, the only big grants that I've seen for-profit companies was the Investment Readiness Program. So the Investment Readiness Program, they had $50 million twice. So they did 2 cycles, and they're actually working on 3.0. We're hoping that that gets approved. But yeah, to actually run a social enterprise, that was the best one. But most times, actually, the Digital Main Street $10,000 one, that is out of the norm. Usually it's about $5,000. Mm-hmm.
Then for, like, not for, then for the company who location in
Wait, so what about it?
and I work from home sometimes, even we don't have, we don't have a clear event and everything. But digital mainstream is only for the location. Business may have competition. Like,
Oh,
so from,
but they changed it.
oh, this thing?
Yeah, so now if you are home-based business, they will still give you the funding.
So for e-commerce, you said they'll do it for free.
Yes. So it's called their Shop Here program.
Do they use WordPress or Wix?
No, they use either Shopify Commerce or there's another one that they use, like Square. The Square platform. But the main one that they use is Shopify.
I have the Square. But okay, I have a Wix website. But for me, that's just show that you just told it. Right. Has set up in a way where you can make it, I don't want first. Yeah, just show.
Yeah.
Just for the website itself, I have all pages, like there's about almost 20 pages, where you can, it's already complete and finished.
Well, I'll show you.
Which one is best? Right.
Yeah.
WordPress is really good.
It depends. I mean, each platform has its strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
I could go deeper into that because I make websites. Actually, just did one for Uplift Black.
Okay.
But I'll show you. See how you already have a Wix store or WordPress?
I tried to close it down once I get my proper website.
Okay. But what they can do is build the Shopify e-commerce portion, part, and then it just becomes a link on your website.
Yeah.
And then it'll take you.
To the shopping.
Right. Well, it's still within your website, but it's like button links that's connected. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Which does do that. And
Yeah.
it can do it well, but it just depends on what your purpose is. For e-commerce, WordPress is also very good. But with Wix, the benefit of that, which it runs across the board. If you are planning on maintaining it, that is the best. Because WordPress requires some coding, and it's not as user-friendly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's where if you want to go deeper, yeah, you can definitely. Yes, yes.
And you can update my week.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And so the BBPA, they have their program where you can get services done for your business and not have to come out of pocket. So if you need a business plan, you need cash flow projections, actually they help register businesses as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you need your accounting done, your taxes done, you're able to apply for that.
Okay.
Desjardins, actually that's one of the few grants that is more than 10,000. So they do 20,000 and they're giving 150 of them. So they have about $3 million that they're dispersing across Canada. So that one's going to be due on December 3rd. So I would definitely apply for that one. Yes, and I would. So usually we do working groups. So if we can't do one-to-one, we bring people together in a group and then go through all the questions so that we get it done. Yeah.
Like in my pocket, so to speak, on the phone.
Yes.
And I was a little bit of. So whenever we can get together as a group or whichever you feel is open.
Right. All right. And I mentioned, and that's where I want to see every single person here get that application in.
When it's due,
December 3rd. Yes. And then the starter company one is one that I mentioned where you're able to get 5,000 from the different entrepreneur centers. So Toronto just launched theirs. They do it twice a year. One is a general call, and then this one coming up is a female founders call. All right. And we talked a little bit about social enterprise funding. So we're hoping that Investment Readiness Program 3.0 does happen. They did 2 cycles of it, but the next phase that they're working on now is actually the Social Finance Fund. So it's going to be investments into social enterprises. So those would probably be debt products or equity products. So money that you do have to pay back, but more favorable terms because they are supporting social enterprises. So the exact criteria isn't out just yet. They're still working on determining who the intermediaries are going to be. So the organizations that are going to create the criteria. So they haven't been selected. So probably by the new year, we're going to find out what that exact criteria is to apply. Yes?
So I was doing the investment readiness fund through, I think it was through Carvana when I was on the board that
Okay.
connected us and then we formed our own group.
The FEBC thing?
No, Carvana our group like.
Oh,
Read,
okay, yes, yes, right.
and then we formed a little group. So
Yes.
let's say none of us in the group got it.
Right.
They said they only gave out.
Right, because you applied to the FFBC people. Right.
So it's like with these grants, and if I make, for example, Face Coalition,
Right.
speaking transparently, like or people, marginalized, bypass.
Mhm.
Some of these grants are just not that responsive, or they have a,
Right.
and then they just don't give out as much funding.
And oversubscribed. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, of this list that you created, are you factoring that into consideration? Like, are you looking?
Yes, because a big piece, especially with the grants, they're always oversubscribed. So it's now 2 things. One, being persistent and applying every time that they come about. Right, but 2, following up to see exactly what happened that went wrong. Because when we were applying for the Youth Opportunities Fund, we applied 3 times. And the first 2 times we had to get that feedback. And then by the 3rd time, it's like they have given you exactly what to put. So the grant program is tricky because there's usually a lot of people applying. So you can't say, even if you have a stellar grant, if they run out of money, and I think FFBC was only controlling 2 million out of the 100 million. So when they only select 10, and I know we did workshops where there's like 50 people on there. So automatically 10% of them are out, or 90% or 80, 90% are going to get declined. It's a tough reality, but that's why with the Social Finance Fund, we're trying to encourage more organizations to become intermediaries. So you see how FFBC, that was only 1 out of a $100 million fund. So with the Social Finance Fund, they have $750 million. So out of that 750 million, right now there's no Black intermediaries. So the wholesalers are like the first holders of the money, you can call it. So there's no Black representation there. But the wholesaler part's passed, but the intermediaries now, we are applying to be an intermediary. But we're trying to train more organizations to do what we did because we started our own loan fund. We can do microloans. So we're in the space so we can apply. But now we have to teach other organizations how to start a loan fund or at least a fund of some sort. So now we open up out of that. I think they're doing 400 million first. So right now we control $0 of it. If we get, let's say ACBN gets in and get 2 million, so that's only one. But if we can get 10 more, then we have at least controlling 20 million of the 400. That's the type of, and we did workshops about it, and I'm trying to inform our community that we have to insert ourselves in the flow of money because all this money, 700 million, is being controlled around us, and we're not controlling it.
Especially if we're still waiting for the applications to go through. Yeah.
Well, and that's the oversubscribe because they have, I think, 30,000 users on their platform.
Certain insight. Yeah, that's the certain different people they got this.
Well, that's cream of the crop, right? So when they launched the social finance fund, no, I'm going to use an example. Yeah, I'm going to use an example. Right. There's always cream of the crop. So the lady was one of the wholesalers. She mentioned before it even was announced, they already have a short list of people that they're working with that are going to get access to the money. So it's like, where does this short list come from? So there's always cream of the crop. We know what it's called. It's who they favor. That's why I say cream of the crop. It's who they favor. But that's where we need more options. That's the problem. If we only have one option and Face was the only option, we get stuck. But if there was 10 of them, then that can't happen as much. And let's, for example, say we're all part of ACBN, and then we actually can control how things are happening. We can make sure that stuff doesn't happen. It's in process. It's in process, yes. Hey, we're always looking for volunteers. Always looking for
When I joined.
Yes. Yes. We have to do it. Yeah. We have, but then that's where, and that's why I call it unlocking capital, because the money is already there. But for some reason, we're blocked. And there's something, whether it's, but this is where, and now we have to choose our battles, because on one side, yeah, but even the way systems are designed, it's now, okay, we're fighting people that don't want us there. And when they do open the door and let us in there, then we're not prepared because we haven't been versed in this entire ecosystem. So we're starting from scratch. And it's easy for them to say no because you showed cash flow projections that. Exactly. Yes. And that's why what we're doing with this is really important. So knowing that what they're looking for so that we can prepare ourselves, because that way when we're prepared, it makes the anti-racism argument easier. When we only have that drum to beat, and then they say, well, we created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Black programs, and they can only get, I think they've given maybe 11 million out of the, how much did they, RBC said 100 million, TD did 10 million, CIBC did 10 million, who else? Specific Black entrepreneur funding, and that money isn't all spent. So now we're trying to figure out, like, they've let us in the door, so what's the block? And you're right. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm.
They come and sit in. And what he specifically said, for the successful entrepreneur, they will see all the resume and blah, 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 and go through it. And it may go through certain people that don't know what they're doing and see and see your application and your resume and say, well, it did say this, graphic.
Quick as that.
Yeah,
Yes.
what they do.
Right.
So I have all the conversations with me. Now,
Got it.
entrepreneur loans is nothing really a loan at all, or they take grants if it's the above. It's just a regular loan. It's not really 250,000. It's actually 100,000 up to 250 if you get that. Plus,
Right.
you won't really get 250. What they'll do is let you, if they, okay, we'll work with it, looks good. Apply for a grant. This came from the person that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So we convince people to apply for a grant. We'll say, this is the person, we'll have to put your grant together.
Right.
Do an application. Once that grant goes through and you receive it, there's no longer you have to wait to apply for that loan.
Oh boy.
Yes, 6 months, perfect.
You see that?
Get $100,000. Yeah.
Right.
He says then we can refer you to get a license. Right. I said, why do you have
Right.
a black entrepreneur loan? You know, that's just not true.
Right. That's what the press release.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
Yes.
Not taking it because they have people. And when people of non-color, like, Hindus, Indians, and white brown people, they come to apply for it. They can't get it because they say, no, it's for only
Right.
people.
Yes.
I got 7 different cultures in me.
Right.
So saying I take up one and say I want to
Right. Well, and like you said, but they're just repackaging the loan programs that they already have. So there's already the small business loan that the federal government does, and I noticed a lot of this is the same criteria.
actually.
So
So that's why I'm not even go to apply for a black basic entrepreneur loan because I know all the backgrounds with from what that we can get from the back.
But I wouldn't discount it just yet because I have been successful in getting the loan, and it would. Well, I only needed like 140.
Well, see, a break of 100
Yeah. Yes. Come to me. That's why I'm here. Hold on. This is the exact reason that because I've seen so many people get declined with these things, and when I was with CIBC, it took 8 months. So these aren't like, and all those questions, it could have taken shorter, but I didn't have them ready. So I had to go back, fix my cash flow projections, find like the back and forth is insane. And then so many people just give up. They're like, I'm done with this. You have to ask. Yeah.
Yeah, you get get all your numbers.
Yeah.
A proper conversation. You get denied. Just don't just give up.
Yeah.
You have these things in check. Anyway, you might not have someone who's working at it's a holistic lens, like and you might not have access to things like this. You might go to somebody else.
Yeah.
Your numbers are not right, and you're not have everything. Yeah, you can't end alone.
Right.
Yeah, because regardless of summary, the financial summary, if you do ask them, they will get someone to help you.
Right.
This is a mentorship program
Gotcha.
on Futurepreneur. Someone mentored me for 6 months.
That was very helpful. And then I got it. It wasn't a ton of money, but it was 6 months worth of investment that we worked for and got valuable information.
Right.
What was DOS though, my barrier, just to put it out there, is I'm qualified for 50. My credit score, I worked super hard to get it out. Beautiful project based on, African kings and queens,
Right.
virtual project, ready to go. And then my accountant had actually kind of meant something else. And so I didn't get to my notice.
Okay.
So that's what I needed.
And they're still asking for that. Right.
They're still asking for learning that out or
Okay. Well, I would say that is not a huge barrier. Like hearing that that's missing, at least you're far enough along. You can get that done, and I feel like you'll be successful. Yeah. Mm.
A lot of things are coming to light, and I'm just gonna sit and
Well, and then there's still another layer. Is on the left side is actually should have put face over there. But when your credit score is under 600, those are all X'd out. And then these are the only programs, except for actually Meridian needs to be over there too. Yes. Yes.
showed me all the different loans on the system.
Ah.
ABC, I'm entrepreneur,
Mm.
4580. I'm 600.
Okay, that's good. That's a little bit of flexible.
Have to have six also to get more than no, I accepted them.
Mhm.
You'll need, collateral, one of the problems. Yeah, 12 years to pay back. Like, I saw the whole.
But that's good to hear because usually,
If the people that you stick with is
Yeah.
that CIBC, I tell you, and I'll give you this number,
mm-hmm.
I tell you that, oh, no, it's 680, they're trying to make it hard for you. I got
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
This is one.
Right.
So, you can connect with them?
I will because that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, like RBC, is not flexible. Scotia, I don't even know anybody that's applied to Scotia. So if anybody knows somebody that has applied to the Scotia program, I would love to see if that's going through. Oh, actually, I'll take a picture of it. Yeah? No, only because I didn't know they had their own specific program. So okay, I'll follow up with that. But also, Meridian now has a new accelerator loan. So if you do have a score of minimum 600, you can get up to 100,000. And so this is one that we're actually going through the process right now just to see kind of what questions they're going to be asking. And I'll tell you, the initial questions really standard about like your business and what you're trying to do, why do you need the money, but then that financial statement, cash flow project, no, not even cash flow projections. The financial statements are the big thing that they're going to look for. But if you do have a business that I think it's 1-to-1 debt ratio based on how much money you need, you can actually go up to 500,000. So if the financials are solid, that loan program looks like it's gonna. They need to get 25 million out the door. Well, I think they go up to 500. Always here to support. That is, listen, like business development is what we do. Yes, yes. And because the guy I sent out or connections to Brian, his name is, but Brian actually needs to connect you with the business advisor in your region. So yeah, if you send a note, just be like, hey, checking in on the status. Have you connected me? We actually tried to invite one of them from Durham here today, just so we can hear from their own mouth about the program. But as we learn more about it, I'll keep you in the loop. So I wanted to show this cash flow projection. So this is what I had to go back and forth with CIBC with.
Yeah.
And so the questions that they kept asking, so they pretty much look at, okay, what's going to be your overall revenue? But then you have to justify that revenue. So in the spreadsheet, I actually created. Yes. So we showed, okay, to open, the next location. This is actually our updated one for 2024 because we got funding from them 2022. So this section showed exactly what we were going to use the money for. And then when we go lower, it was saying, okay, we need to hit this revenue goal. how much sales does it take to hit that? And then what's the average job cost? How much sales per month? How much sales per week? And then we reverse engineer it to say, oh, that's your close rate. And we have to tell them, listen, our close rate when people call is about 50%, and that's from historical data. That now, how many people come to our website is the conversion rate. No, sorry, I did that in reverse. So how many people come to the website was about 4% from all the marketing that we do. People that actually book with us and are interested when they come to our website was like 10%. And then when a person books or calls us, we can close 50%.
Right.
So in order to hit our revenue goal, we needed was a 645,000 impressions. So that's what goes into the business plan. Before, what our business plan was saying was we're going to make 150,000 because we're doing marketing. We're doing social media, word of mouth. It doesn't compute for these people.
Yeah.
I read them every. It's too fluff.
Yeah.
We have to get away from fluff because now all of these numbers every month you can justify it. You can say how many people came to our website, how many people bought, and what is our percentages, and then what do we need to adjust. So, right, and then you can figure out where is the bottleneck. Say like, why aren't people first coming to our website? What do we need to fix with our advertising? When people do come to our website, why aren't people buying or going to a checkout page? Right? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hello.
Hey, good day. Feel free to grab a seat. Yeah, go ahead.
So my best friend, Simone, she has worked for Thomas Edison's company in the States.
Right.
For the past 5 years.
Uh,
She's made 6 figures.
right.
She is a 35-year-old woman
Mm.
who makes more money than most men.
Right.
So I said to her, Sim, okay, you work for a corporation. I've never worked for.
Mm.
Last time I worked anything corporate was Rogers. That was when I first came here.
Yeah.
I needed money for university.
Mm.
So anyway, I said, Sim, look at my website, look at my company offerings, look at my marketing, and I want you to do a diagnostic on what I'm doing.
Yes.
And she did exactly this. She's like, I need the market data, I need the conversion rates, I need I need the close rates, I was like, what?
Yeah. What are you talking? Trust me.
Corporate works, girl. Like,
Thank you. They track everything.
So then my comment is with these programs, I'm sure you're very confident you're here, but you know, every little minions, you know, I
Yes. Yes.
okay, because that is the language, that is the English of these loners.
Right.
It's key corporate to me.
And it reduces their risk knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah.
Because when you can't say it, then all they hear is risk.
What?
Yeah, and it's like, come back when you fix that. It's like, oh, sorry, go ahead with that.
Thank you.
Mm.
So Ryan, how does having an established website and some of these areas of marketing, how does that really, and if, as the lovely young lady mentioned about working together credit us, because I know I've been very transparent with you when we started out over a year ago on the platform.
Mm.
How much of an impact those areas have in acquiring these grants if your credit score is low, which is not a fault of your own, right?
Right.
Does
So
that
for
include
grants,
you?
it's not so much an issue. It's only mostly for loans. Yeah.
Right, okay, okay.
And it's like, I'll stop the recording, but yes. we have to get creative people. Trust me. Yeah. It's okay.
Right. So,
Don't kill me.
we clarified about the low score of that, but
Uh.
regarding the traffic in an unestablished, because you don't have a website yet, right? So how some of those areas would impact acquiring the grant? Because you
This,
all start.
yeah, this wouldn't impact grants so much. Yeah, only with, no, even like the Toronto Enterprise startup fund, they don't really, they're supposed to actually help you build this out. So they have the programming and you're supposed to get this at the end of it, so that when you go for loans, you're more successful. Mm.
It's a show.
Nice.
But it's similar to this, and so detailed.
Right.
And I'd like to share it with you.
Yeah.
All you have to do is put your information in.
And boom, boom, exactly. I love that.
It looks like you're on. Looks like you're quite the connection person here.
Yeah, I love it.
You should be working with Ryan.
Right? Yeah.
You look at I look at
Yes.
Want to be a part of my company and there's the bankers and bank loan managers and all this. That's why I take it in. Half the time I don't write, it just stays in here.
Right.
I come to the different doors, they're opening, but.
Yeah.
And I was working with an accountant. And he was trying to help, but he was also very trying to, and I didn't know.
Right.
Yes, fix that. Oh, rebuke. Yes. That's why I didn't see, essential will drop me closer, but I'm not that kind of person.
Right.
I'm just saying. So he said that projection, and when you see it, it will blow them,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
right? So, well, I'm here, whatever I have from my past to the present, which I've been on since 2017. I started working on it. I incorporated 2019. I incorporated, and I not incorporated. I did my first sole partnership. I wanted the name for New Jenkins, one name, and they separated as New Jenkins. I said,
Oh, right.
so I had to go ahead and remove and do the whole thing over again. Then I went to the bank and they did it to a number of companies. They did the change later. I said, that's not what I asked for. Yeah.
No, right.
So I can do that as one word. New Jenkins, that is New Jenkins. It means maybe entrepreneur,
Yeah.
whatever, all the above, right? Strong man. God bless him, passed away. So I've been around for a while. So I've done sales, finished sales, and I'm going to step back for a little and work on my numbers and all the internal. I have the whole scale of the business itself, all the different zones from A to Z. Everything is numbers, but I don't understand anything. Excel sheet, the whole work.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
And just one thing, just because I've researched this a lot, it's another barrier I find with most people like us, sales. Exactly what you said.
Word of mouth for me, I got sales. I didn't even do a web study, just word of mouth.
But you have the gift of that. You see, other people,
Right.
they need sales training. Most entrepreneurs, they have great ideas.
Yeah.
They can manage people really well.
Right. And to systematize it so it can be ongoing. Yeah.
I got a bigger person. I would go into anywhere, just doesn't matter where it is, just like what the guy said, ask that person. And each person asks, oh, I'm an accountant, sure, I'll help you. I said, sure, okay, I'll buy that $3. Okay, sure.
Then market that and show someone how to tap into that.
That's true. That's why I mentioned everything else.
Okay. People hold the list of God, and can we convert that to numbers so that when these people are watching, they can say, okay,
Numbers that stay still and listen.
okay, that's what you're at.
Stay still and listen.
Nice.
This is where I get all that information. So the mail out there that excludes Ryan, there are some men who are up in that field who feel that when they meet a strong woman, not just black woman, they think that, let me just let you know, I've been here before and want to get a bit of money. Oh, and they'll try whatever, but what they don't understand is that they're trying, make them open up and start giving you information that people are trying, and you save that information.
Right, the valuable. Yes,
Goodbye, let's say thank you.
yes, yes.
So let me give it back to you.
So that's where we're actually going to wrap there because, hold on, let me just, how do I shut
I
this
have
down?
a problem with financial statement.